I'm Richard Porter.
I'm Jonny Smith.
And this is Smith & Sniff, a podcast in which two friends talk about cars and many other things live at Festival of the Unexceptional.
Sponsor. That was good, whoever shouted transit. Thank you.
I had to rush that one because there were too many words to fit in the gap before the music comes up. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that was good. It sounded like a local radio ad.
Yeah. Warning, the value of your house may go down as well. Hi, everyone. I was going to say thanks for coming, but you've not come to see us, so sorry, everyone. You can get back to looking at a really immaculate Nissan Stanza in an hour
I was just looking at that before I ran over here.
Amazing.
Yeah. Love the Stanza rear clusters.
How are we all doing?
All good?
You know, I want everyone to answer individually. We're going to be here for a few hours.
Yeah. I'm going to hold something up if you'd like to respond. That's...
Where? Oh, someone put a long tail on that.
Yeah,
one.
They did. That was really good. That was
I don't know. Where's a chap gave us a transit badge,
which I'm holding up to the audience,
and a Leyland badge that matches my new tattoo. Oh, here it is. You brought it out of the car.
I brought it on stage for the purposes of audio.
He suggested that perhaps I'd like to glue it to my forehead like Rimmer out of Red Dwarf. Maybe later.
But this is great because the thing about the Festival of the Unexceptional is that, this is the second time we've done this, and it never ceases to amaze me how celebratory it is for the average.
Yes.
And
that's why they book us.
Quite.
Average and slightly below.
Yes, that's right. And I've just had a quick look round, and you just see cars which should have disappeared a long time ago and just have hung on in there. And I was talking to a guy about a 6,000 mile Nissan Datsun Cherry just behind me. That's in the off of the concourse.
We were watching stuff coming in earlier on, and almost everything, it was like, oh God, there's one of, oh my God, I can't believe, there's another.
Yeah.
And Johnny went, if these were supercars, I'd have got bored and gone off to get a coffee by
I would have done.
It's like,
I genuinely would have done.
There's only so many Hurricanes you can look at. You go, oh, it's a green one again. Great.
Also, there was no one revving it like a complete flute, which gives you an idea of the calibre of audience we've got here.
Yeah.
The discerning engine preservist.
Well, also, in fairness, you know, no one really wants to hear a Ford CVH bouncing off the limiter. You might as well just throw a box of bones down a staircase. Not to say, if you've got a CVH and you want to give it a little tickle, that's fine. You know,
I always think a
CVH
just sounds like a little muttered insult.
You CVH.
Yeah.
Effing CVH.
Effing CVH. It would be,
I don't even know what the V and the H would stand for, but... Anyway,
well,
that's fine. Let's go. Again, there's kids here. Sorry, what? No, don't, because it's one of my quiz questions later.
Oh, sugar.
I just realised I've accidentally almost given away a quiz question. We're doing a quiz later. It's irrelevant for people listening at home, but that's fine. Also for people listening at home, I should probably explain that Johnny's wearing a shell suit top.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a Mark 1 Freelander blouse.
It genuinely is a blouse. It's not a shirt.
All is normal here.
Yeah.
Nothing to see.
Yeah.
A bit later on, we'll be taking some questions from the audience, but that are in our tombola over there.
Yeah.
Which is made from the finest MDF.
Yeah. And it's got
a little bit damp earlier on when it rains, so they may have swollen up.
In
to
fact,
an uncomfortable degree, as I did when I saw some of the cars driving in earlier.
I think that I'm worried for the welfare of both the Lancia in the Concours, 1979, but also the bare MDF tombola of ours. Which one's going to survive better in precipitation? Place your bets. Go to Betfred or other named betting places.
We were talking on the last. In fact, my Mark 1 Freelander blouse is obscuring my Raleigh Grifter T-shirt that I was quite pleased with, that I bought specially for this event, because we were talking about old rally bikes on the podcast last week or the week before.
Yeah, week before.
And in fact, Paul Cowland, who many of you may know off of the telly, is here.
He is here.
And Paul is from basically in Nottingham. And he told me that he won a local newspaper competition when he was, I think, 11 or thereabouts. And the prize was to go to the Raleigh factory, have a look round, have a bit of lunch in the Raleigh canteen, and then...
You can only imagine what that lunch would have been.
So it was, he told me this, it was 1984, I think he said.
Bit of custard sandwich, white bread.
Custard sandwich.
It would have been, wouldn't it? With a polystyrene cup of horrid tea.
Chips and rice pudding.
Yeah.
In the same bowl. After he'd had semolina smeared across some fish fingers or something, they took him to this sort of on-site shop where they had an example of every bike they made at that point, and they said, "Take your pick, anyone you want."
Yeah,
that was the final prize, and he took home. I know where Cowland's gone because it was one of their very early mountain bikes.
Cowland, where are you? If you're here, shout out what bike you chose.
No.
That was a dog. That wasn't Paul. It was a dog. It was actually a dog yelping over there.
He got I can't remember, was it like a Maverick or something like that, really early of Raleigh's mountain bikes, when sort of mountain bikes were becoming a thing and BMX was kind of going away again. Yeah. But when we were talking about last week the Raleigh Chopper as well.
Yeah.
And I suddenly realised a lot of those bikes of that era, you can make them sound like a Polar Explorer by simply putting Sir in front of them. Sir Raleigh Chopper has just come back from the South Pole.
Is it Raleigh, or is it Sir Raleigh?
Well, no, I think it's Sir Raleigh. He's been ennobled because he discovered a new part of South America that no one had noticed before,
and a soft shell crab that we didn't know about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Find another.
Exactly. What? Find another soft shell.
Find another soft shell crab.
Yeah.
So Sir Raleigh Chopper, Sir Raleigh Boxer, but I realise it also applies to cars. Sir Maurice Marina.
Oh,
sounds like he's done something very notable.
Yeah.
Sir Austin Allegro, not so sure. Sounds a bit foreign.
I think they found out years later he was a wrong un.
Yeah.
So they don't talk about him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah. I had an autograph of his once, but I've had to throw it away.
Yeah.
There we go. Might have bought some artwork off him as well.
No,
okay. No, I didn't. No, I'm mistaken.
Sir Talbot Solara, he did some incredible stuff exploring West Africa.
Yeah.
In the 18th century.
Yeah. Yeah, sweet guy as well, actually.
Dame Mercedes Viano also, I think, did a lot of work for polio.
For children, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, she was nice. She's dead.
So they're all dead. They're all dead now.
Talking of dead, the thing about the Festival of the Unexceptional is, and we sort of have to thank the fact that there were lots of people that kept cars for ages in garages and never really used them, or bought them and then instantly died. Because that seems to be... No, I'm serious. There's so much D-spec here, and that's the reason why it exists. It's strictly D-spec.
I was talking to someone earlier on. This is quite sad, but also sort of funny. I was talking to someone earlier on who had a friend who was told they only had a few weeks or months to live. So they booked a really expensive holiday on a credit card, knowing full well they'd never have to pay it back.
What?
Yeah. I just thought, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
If you're going to go with a bang. I'd have bought a frigging GT3 RS on a Barclay card.
Yeah. I would have bought a Toyota Tercel 4-wheel drive. Absolutely.
That's the thing, actually. I'd have got as many credit cards as I possibly could and then just bought this field and some heroin.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Come on down and watch.
Come on down. I'm going to get banjaxed and drive around that field in an LDV Pilot. You watch me.
Yeah.
It goes faster in reverse than it does in first.
Rich, you idiot. You've just smashed your Mark 1 Ford Ka into the back of your Talbot Horizon. Shut up. The red arrows are coming over in a minute. It doesn't matter. How have you bought the red arrows? Well, have you heard of American Express? Yeah. They're not getting that back. Just something to, the lighter side of being told you've got 3 weeks to live.
I went, I told you a couple of podcasts ago, I went to a theme park with my daughter and her friends.
Yeah.
The thing I forgot to tell you about that was when I went on that ride that I wasn't expecting to go on because the other ride got chundered on and we got ferried over to the other ride. It's not a very interesting story, but needless to say, I didn't go on the ride I was queuing for originally. I didn't really want to go on it, but because we got ferried and we got VIP treatment and I couldn't invite my daughter on because she was queuing for another ride. Anyway, I went on it on my own. This is with a load of other children and adults. And as I was strapped in, I got massive nerves. I was like, I don't actually want to go on this, but I'm locked in now. So hell, whatever. And I
think if you panic enough, they let you off.
Well, there's no time to panic, Rich.
Okay.
So we were you know that horrible slow climb that roller coasters do? It's the climb of doom, isn't it? Yeah, the clickety-clack bit. And I was doing the usual, checking to make sure that all the bits were bolted down and things were in place. And I realised I suddenly still had my phone in my pocket, so I was wedging it. As we did the over vertical drop bit, which is cruel, over vertical, that's just not fair. I need to apologise to anyone that was sat near me on the roller coaster because I did shout out some bad things. I just I won't say exactly, I just went, oh, you effing bastard whore. And then I realised that there was some small people near me.
Oh dear.
And I was just a guy on his own on the roller coaster.
Oh no, that's even worse.
And to the outside world, it looked like I'd wanted to go on it, but I didn't actually want to go on it because I was going to go on the other one that got trended on.
There's some poor family going, how was Katie's 9th birthday? Well, it was all right until that bloke from the Late Break show said some absolutely unforgivable things on a roller coaster.
Yeah. Effing BW, as it turns out.
You're slightly... Sorry, I'm holding on to this guy rope because I feel like I'm going to fall off the stage.
It says no step.
It says no step there. That's our fault because we stood on that.
We stood on them earlier.
They didn't say no step earlier on.
Yeah.
It says no step, you flute.
No step.
No, earlier on, because getting slightly too involved in the irrelevant part of the story.
Yeah.
This morning, I stayed at Johnny's house last night. This morning, to sort of amp ourselves up for this day.
Yeah.
Got the Alexa in the kitchen fired up. Johnny said, put something good on. And all I could think of was Marillion. So we started with Kaylee, which I think is the Marillion gateway drug.
Yeah.
And
why do we always talk about...
I don't know. Well, anyway.
Every single time.
Hold on, because I've got some Marillion facts coming up, courtesy of a gentleman who's here. But then we moved on to Charles.
Those two guys down there.
These guys down here,
Marillion fans. One's wearing an actual Marillion T-shirt. Can you stand up and show the audience your Marillion T-shirt, please? There you go. Look at that. Marillion T-shirt guy. There's also Iron Maiden T-shirt guy over there. But it's okay. We're not talking about Iron Maiden today, sorry. But I am brushing my teeth tonight, so, because that's what we do. We brush our teeth twice a day.
Where was I? Oh, yeah, so, but the irrelevant story, because we realised that there's some sort of details in some of the Marillion songs we were listening to that feels like Fish got slightly sidetracked. He's going, Kaylee, I just want to say I'm sorry. And then I went to the post office and I saw Sarah, who works in the butcher's, and I was saying to her, I was like, didn't you used to have that dog? And he's going, Fish, stay on target. It's about Kaylee. But there's a parallel universe in which we could be talking about Marillion and people be going, you might as well be talking about Coldplay or U2 or something. It's like, why are you going on about the biggest band in the world? Because, and this is courtesy of the guys down here.
Marillion shirt guy and
his dad. That in the 1980s, Marillion were invited to play a gig and they said, oh God, we've got to get back to the UK to do it. And unfortunately, we're in Italy and it'll take far too long. It's too complicated. We can't get back for it. And that gig was Live Aid. So Queen did it instead.
Unbelievable.
And it was the beginning of a resurgence of Queen's popularity. Could have been Marillion.
Yeah. I bet they were driving back from Italy in a Sherpa. Yes. And they were like, we've just looked at how long this is going to take. Not a chance. Can't get back for that. No way.
It's because Fish stopped at a petrol station and started getting to a really involved anecdote about... and then I was too scared to pick up the phone. Fish, go in the van!
But this other Marillion anecdote is actually car-related. Or vehicle-related, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to do the one about how they were, again, sliding doors moment, they could have been much bigger than they were. They were offered the chance to soundtrack a small independent film that no one thought would be anything particularly. So they passed on it, and the film was Highlander. Oops.
Yeah. But then there's an actual vehicle-related Marillion.
There is an actual vehicle-related
Marillion anecdote, which I can't remember all the details for, but it involves a song about Donald Campbell and the speed record he did on water. Is that right? Which is Coniston? Was it Lake Coniston?
Yeah. And so a professional diver was a Marillion fan, is that right? And he heard the song and went, this is very intriguing. It seems
By the way, we're not making this up.
But the professional diver weirdly had never heard of Donald Campbell, looked into it and went, ooh, there'd be treasure down there, dived into Coniston to have a look at the wreck, and that led directly to that wreck being raised. And the subsequent, there was going to be a tribute to Donald Campbell, and Marillion were going to play at it. And the day before, all the news crews and everything turned up. This was going to be a huge thing. And so Marillion were once again going to get their time in the spotlight. This would atone for Live Aid and not doing that. And then suddenly they noticed that all the news crews and the photographers had disappeared. And it's because, unfortunately, the rehearsals for the event were taking place the day before. And the day before was September the 11th, 2001. And suddenly the news became about something else and not about Marillion playing Donald Campbell's tribute concert. And it was lost to history.
Okay, that's enough Marillion.
That's
I'm going to draw a really
Marillion.
big line under it. Don't you dare ask. If there's any
As a-
questions about Marillion in this tombola, I will burn the lot.
I was going to say,
Okay, that is it.
Palate cleanser, shall I do a question?
Please. I'm loving the bare MDF look, I have to say. It's very rustic and definitely not waterproof.
This is a question from Michael, who says, in the podcast outro, you mentioned a Smith & Sniff pie. We do.
Because we're idiots.
Because we're idiots, and it rhymes with merchandise. If you say pies. If you made one, what would you put in it? Goose fat should be included somewhere.
Well, I'd like to do a Steam Rally survival kit at some point. Because I think that's, a really interesting piece of merchandise to make. And we are overdue some new merchandise. I think if we did a new pie, an actual pie, it would have to have a couple of flutes coming out of the top made of pastry, like a fluted top.
Like
is
they
what
have,
I'm
used to
saying.
have bones coming out of the pies in Desperate Dan cartoons.
Oh yes, like cow horns.
But would also possibly look like the sort of tracts on the top of an engine.
Oh, like a velocity stack.
The steam may gently blow through the flutes and cause a sort of...
Yeah.
Like a kettle.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you don't eat meat, so it couldn't be like a steak and ale pie.
Well, we do a pair of pies. There would be a meaty one and there would be a non-meaty one, I guess.
I don't know.
I didn't expect to talk about pies today.
No.
I haven't really thought this through. Does it show?
There's a part of me that wants the pie to be ridiculous, like the food in the Raleigh canteen in 1980, according to Ask.
Yeah.
So it's got semolina in it or something.
A custard pie.
A custard pie, yeah.
Just simply.
But I'd also quite like our pie to be nice.
Yeah, I'd like a nice pie.
So... but I mean, they used to do those turduckens. I don't know if people do, where it was like it's a turkey with a chicken with a duck, all inside, like sort of Russian dolls.
What?
Yeah.
A pie and a pie and a pie?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I'm wondering, has anyone done an all the meats pie?
Someone will have. Someone's probably made one of those pies who's standing here in this drizzly field now.
We went for a curry last night, and I was slightly torn. I sort of picked the level of spiciness and flavour that I wanted, but I wasn't sure whether to have chicken or lamb. And I liked the fact this curry house actually said lamb, because I used to get takeaways from a curry house in London where you'd ring up and you'd go, I'll have a lamb madras, please. And the guy would always go, meat madras? And it was almost like a trading standards thing. They can't say the L word because that was imply it is actually lamb. So it was always meat. And you go, well, dogs are made of meat. So that's worrying.
Yes. Yeah.
People are made of meat, for that matter. We're all made of meat.
People are meat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feels like something on a T-shirt.
Fantastic album. So I decided to go for a run the other morning because I was feeling a bit slow. I thought I'd try and restore some equilibrium. And as I was running, I noticed a wheel trim in a hedge. And it was one of those generic ones. I've actually seen a Mitsubishi Shogun come in today with like nondescript wheel trims.
A Shogun?
Yeah, yeah.
Weird.
I know. I've never seen wheel trims on a Shogun before, but there it was. And then as I carried on running, I saw another wheel trim in a completely different part of town, but that was for a Fiat 500, one of those quite stylish trims.
Okay, yeah.
And I stopped running and I thought I'm going to do the sort of responsible citizen thing of leaning it against a tree in full view of the road in case someone looks for it, like they've lost a dog or a cat.
Yeah.
And I carried on running, and at this point I was feeling quite unfit and quite unhealthy. and I saw another wheel trim.
What?
It's a triple wheel trim run, which has never happened for me before. And this was a Folds one.
Yeah.
And I hung it in a tree.
Oh.
Don't know why. Just decided
squirrel had lost a wheel trim.
Yeah. Anyway, I messaged a really old friend of mine, Party Boy, who's been referenced on this podcast before. And I said, I've just been for a run and I found 3 wheel trims, because he's pretty much the only person that would give a toss. He messaged me back and he went, never guess what I found on my run the other morning. I'm just going to use the word skintrest.
What?
It's not Pinterest, it's Skintrest. He found a magazine.
Oh.
Running the other morning.
Did he go for a run in the 70s?
I sent him one. Yeah, but I sent him one. I went, just to clarify, this is a 2025 run that you went on. Genuinely.
Because there would have been more wheel trims in the 70s as well, because more cars
loads more
had
trims.
wheel trims.
Yeah.
That's
in
weird.
fact, at this event, there's some exquisite wheel trims. I will refer also back to the Datsun Cherry, but there has lovely little...
The famous... We're back to pies again, the pie tin wheel trims. This reminds me, because I saw a Peugeot 205 come in earlier on, and it had a style of wheel trims which were on 205s, 309s. They also put them on late model Solaras and Alpines. They're very flat, and they've just got little slots around the outside. I don't know if people remember those trims, and they've always, to me, been one of my least favourite wheel trims. They're just so bland and flat.
Hang on, you're talking about the Talbot Solara having
very
bland wheel trims. Okay.
Yeah, and I speak as someone who, as a child, was driven round, in fact, in a beige Solara with those wheel trims on, because the basic Solara was only available in 3 colours at that point, and they
beige,
yeah,
red,
yeah.
Oh, I don't feeling the pressure now.
Dark beige.
Dark beige.
Autumn beige.
It's got to be a burgundy or a...
No, it was green.
Was it?
Yeah.
That seems too cool.
Well, I've mentioned this before, I think, but my late grandfather thought that green cars were unlucky.
That's bobbins.
It is bobbins, but it was based on, I think, the logic that green cars are harder to see against hedges and things.
Yeah.
It was also based on the logic that my late grandfather was once quite badly injured when a motorcyclist smashed into the only green car he's ever owned and sort of came into the cabin, and he got quite banged up by it. So my mum had inherited this suspicion of green cars. So we weren't having a green Solara.
Yeah.
Red seemed a bit strident. Ooh, look at my Solara. I'll give it a pass if you don't mind. So beige was the only option. So we had a beige Solara with those shitty wheel trims. Sorry, not good wheel trims on.
Terrible wheel trims.
And that was... I never liked them. And I saw one today and I went, those wheel trims. And it put me in mind of other wheel trims I don't enjoy. And the Mark II Fiesta gear, to me, I don't know if there's one here or if that's a bit too snazzy. They always had god-awful wheel trims.
There was a Fiesta on wheel trims, a Mark II, that came in. I think they were white wheel trims.
Oh, no, that's even worse.
Yeah.
They did a special edition, which was basically just a Fiesta gear, but for some reason it was red, called the Firefly.
Great.
Someone my parents knew had one. And every time they came round, I go, that woman with the wheel trims is here. I wouldn't say this because...
No, of course you would.
Even for me, that was too much.
The woman with the wheel trims. Is that
well, just like, oh God, some awful
Agatha
wheel
Christie
trims.
novel, which we don't quite remember? The woman with the wheel trims.
I think it was one of those Stig Larsson books, The Girl with the Terrible Wheel Trims. Tattoo.
You can relate.
Yeah.
You can relate.
Yeah, I'm a tat guy now.
Yeah, I'm going to have a really gash wheel trim tattoo on my back next week.
So yeah, anyway, I don't know where that's going. I was just wheel trims I don't enjoy. Yeah. But then I was thinking about wheel trims I do enjoy.
Talk to me. But briefly, please.
Yeah. In 4 words or less. Later.
Sorry, Rich, just thought you put you off the scent.
That's worked, actually. I can't remember what we're talking about. Probably just move on. I could do another question if that would take the taste away. I was going to say late model Rover R8s with those slightly spokey trims.
Yeah.
I like those.
Oh, the other thing I needed to talk to you about, I've just written it down. So I'm not just texting my mates on my phone. I actually did have something written down to talk about. Do you remember many podcasts ago, the Algal pin-in?
Yes.
The Mitsubishi Algal Shogun pin-in. Well, it's still there. Still hasn't moved an inch. Still blocked in by bins and conifer trees. And the person never replied to my note through the door.
Yeah.
But I saw Captain Birdseye walking his dog the other day, which is a massive Alsatian. I'm so glad it's not in my house. But as he was walking the dog, I was driving by and I had to chuckle because Algal Pinnin guy was walking this dog. And what it did was, it was that thing where he was looking in front of him and not at the dog while walking it. And the dog was trying to slow down because it needed to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
And he wasn't clocking what was going on.
Yeah.
And I realised the dog was lowering the back suspension ready to go, you know. You know, like this sort of wheelchair-friendly coaches which drop down.
Yeah,
It was kind of doing that. And if you've ever watched drag racing, where now they have a thing on the trans brake when they're trying to build up the boost on a turbo drag car, they'll go into what they call pre-stage, which is the first, the white line where the timing beams start, and then they have to go from pre-stage to stage, and it's like 10 inches of distance.
Right.
And if you go beyond the stage line, you instantly get disqualified. And when you're trying to hold 3,000 horsepower back on boost, this is niche, I know, but you might understand it. There's a little thing they call where they can call it on the trans brake. They can bump it into the pre-stage. So you're running at full boost, and the car is trying to inhale the world, and you bump it like 4 inches, and it just goes ba 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 ba, and then it launches.
And this relates to pooing dogs. How?
I think the dog was trying to do a sort of bump pre-stage, and that's what it reminded me of. It was on boost, and the owner did not know it was on boost. The dog was desperately trying to bump, but not break the beam, and thus get disqualified from the game. And that's the end of the story. I still haven't bought an Algal Pinnin. You actually drove past it this morning, the Algal Pinnin.
I've done that with my dog, where you suddenly look round and she's going, and she's got a big shaggy tail, my dog, and the tail goes up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes she'll do her business, but then the bay doors don't close.
Oh.
The tail stays up, and I know maybe that's not it. And I sometimes go, close it. But how was Smith and Sniff? Yeah, there was a bloke in a Freelander blouse talking about dog poo for slightly too long. Shall I do a question?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
This is from Thomas Harrison Lord. Hello, Thomas, wherever you are. Trophy Cars on the A1 only sells MGFs and TFs.
This is true. It's near me.
This is true.
Yeah.
If you had your own one model dealership, what car and why?
That's a very, very good question. One make dealership.
My business sense, I'd probably do like the Panth 6 and have terrible stock problems all the time.
I would be tempted to do the merger era of Roots Group and Peugeot, and so you've got Talbot, Matra, Hillman, Chrysler. Is there another one I've forgotten? There'll be another one. Ish.
I think you've covered it.
I mean, they're all CAC of that era. There's quite a few of them here, but they're all beautifully CAC and probably would have stock problems, as you just said.
Hey, hang on. But so you're just doing Avengers?
Well, Avengers...
It's got to be one model. Can't just be one mark. It's got to be one model. So or you do Ranchos, and again, you've got terrible stock.
Oh, no,
problems.
I couldn't do Ranchos because,
you're
the
taking
showroom,
trade-ins.
You'd have people trying to buy the Rancho, and you go, no, this is the demonstrator. I can't sell this one. And it would always just be that car in the showroom.
I don't know. I sort of have a feeling it might be you coming in. Also, you've hired staff, which is a mistake given your overheads are already too high. Any interest in the Rancho? Nope. No one's come in because it turns out, Johnny, that you're the only one who's interested in the Rancho.
Yeah.
And your mate in the Freelander blouse, but he's already bought our other Rancho, so that's it now.
Yeah, that's it. No, so I think that would be a dreadful decision. I could do Avengers, couldn't I? But I think for business it would be crap. So
I genuinely, a while ago, was talking to somebody who was a car trader, and I said, you should find a niche. And I said, without joking, I suggested, just why don't you do like K11 Micras because they're brilliant first cars and learner cars.
Yeah.
And
we saw the delivery micro from last night.
The Stanford Legend.
That's heavily panel damaged, yeah.
It looks like a movie prop because it's like the badges have fallen off.
Yeah.
But left sort of outlines. You just go, that's a bit on the nose for if you're a shabby car from a film.
Oh, it's been so badly abused.
And then we saw that Yaris as well.
Yeah.
Where the clutch was not being respected.
No, it wasn't, was it?
But yeah,
it wasn't. But the thing is, it had some important deliveries to make to stoners, as it turns out.
So we were walking through Stamford last night, and there's a what's it called? Delicious desserts or something.
Yeah, delightful desserts or just stoners desserts.
Well, that's the thing. There's a whole shop, and they just do pudding. And
that's not a business case.
The Micra was there doing a pickup, and you're like, who's doing a takeaway just for pudding? And Johnny explained it to me. It's stoners.
I believe this is true. I met someone that worked there as part-time staff, and I said, who orders like a dessert only at 10 p.m? And he went, stoners. He said, we've earned a lot of money from stoners. And I went, what, really? He went, oh, yeah, they'll spend like 20 quid on one dessert delivered to the door.
But like huge like Knickerbocker Glory.
Yeah, Knickerbocker Glory that was really elaborate, but it has to be delivered within 5 minutes, otherwise it sort of starts to fade away and look sad. I just didn't realise there was a business for this.
But also, how many stoners, they take delivery of it, they go and put it on the table, then they get distracted talking to each other about, like, I don't know, Neil Young records or something, and they turn around, there's just a huge lake of ice cream all across there. Better order another one then.
Yeah. So that is what panel damage Micras are delivering these days.
It's
just elaborate stoner
fascinating
desserts.
Window into the world.
Well, quite. I'm going to open the tombola up.
I've actually left it open, sorry.
Oh, dear.
It's not watertight. I realised it doesn't really need to rotate, does it? But it's nice that we have that option.
Well, you never know in the future. We've got a chap called Michael McCarroll off of Ireland.
Okay.
It says here. In brackets, he met me today. He said in brackets, I bought you a pint 20 years ago. It's a really long time ago. But
so you owe him a pint?
I owe you a pint, Michael, because that's quite a long time. Hi, I'm lucky enough to own 2 times Subarus. P1 and...
Ooh.
Is that a 2000?
2005 WRX STI.
I also own a Vauxhall Nova van, 1 litre petrol. Thanks for the detail. It's the right show for that kind of detail. I get more attention when I drive the Nova.
Yes.
So my question is, what unexceptional car have you driven which has got a lot of attention? That is a really good question.
I don't know. I mean, it's not, I say it teeters on the verge of exceptional, but my Honda Beat, which is here today, along with 2 other Beats. Who's here in a Beat?
Yeah.
Yay! We're friends now. That's just a fact.
There's another red one and a yellow one.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, in a way we're friends. Also, I don't feel special anymore. I thought I'd be the only Beat in the village, and now it turns out there's bloody loads of them. But as you will know, as Beat drivers, that it gets a lot of attention, and I have sort of seen, sort of someone's there in a like an Aventador or something.
Yeah.
And then they'll go, ooh, and the head will swivel to the Beat, and I'm like, it's not about cylinders, is it? Because I've only got 3 of them.
Well, a few years ago, on the Late Break Show, I borrowed Kia's official press Pride vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
Now, no one in the world would be impressed with that apart from people that come to a show like Festival of the Unexceptional. But here it was, this immaculate Kia Pride. It wasn't on the white walls, but it was lovely. And it was really quite peppy. I drove it around and enjoyed it because I think it was the first Kia that you bought in the UK.
It was, yeah.
And that's why they decided to keep it for heritage purposes. So I was zipping around in this thing and I noticed that loads of people were clocking it and kind of smiling.
Mm.
And most of them were young people who probably don't remember it when it was new. Because when it was new, it was thought of as being a bit of a cheap white good, really. But
it's retro, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Stuff that's ordinary to us is actually sort of has a novelty value.
Yeah.
I wish I could have come here in my Metro Turbo, what I have recently bought, as you might know, from Johnny's Barn.
Had no idea that you bought one, Rich.
No,
you don't talk about it a lot.
Mention it. But it's still being worked on to make it really nice. But it's the chap, Lewis, who's a friend of ours who has a transport company, he moved it from where it was to the Den Automotive in Hinckley, who are going to smarten it up for me. And he said, but while he had it at his storage place for a week or so, he said all the young people who came by that he works with were all getting really excited about the Metro. And I was a bit like, I did not expect that.
No.
But it's retro.
It's lovely. Well, that's the thing about this show for me is when I first came here, I was expecting the demographic to be older and the amount of people in their 20s and teens is refreshing, who are celebrating cars that are, were a bit cack, but now they're nice because Auntie had one, or the weird guy around the corner had one, or whatever. He wasn't a wrong one. He was just weird. There's a difference. Let's just make that clear. Although I did see a Rolls-Royce Shadow come in earlier. I don't know if anyone who drove that, but there's definitely something going on with that. Because that's a fact.
Is there a more seedy car? No offence to whoever came in the Shadow. But
no. Exquisite example of the
There's a
mark.
whiff of the Walton upon Thames police are looking into it kind of about those cars. And, but I can't. Is there a car that's even worse than
What's
that?
the most seedy car in the world?
Maybe like an ex-British Gas Bedford van on white Wellers has a sort of don't ask about the puppies and sweets. But no, the Shad is quite hard to beat for just sheer
I think a shabby, I've said it before, a shabby motorhome is one of the seediest things, because the whole point of a motorhome is it's fun to live in for a while, yeah. But if it's really shabby, Richard, suddenly it's sinister. Don't go in there. You might not get out of there.
There's a particular sort of, it's kind of velour that is used for the seats in motorhomes and static caravans and 90s Renaults.
Yes.
And it's the kind of fabric where you put your hand on it and it feels like you need to exert slightly more pressure to lift your hand again because of this sort of inherent gumminess.
Yes.
I always remember like when Lagunas became minicabs.
Yes.
You'd be in the back seat of a Laguna and you just put your hand down and then go, oh.
You can't tell if it's damp or not. I think that's the troubling thing for me.
You know when something's either really, really hot or really, really cold and you touch it and your brain for a minute just goes, oh.
Yeah.
One or the other, but better move away.
Yeah.
Same with Laguna back seats.
Yes.
Is that damp?
Anyone today come here in a Laguna? Because I have seen two. Anyone here? No? They're probably not admitting it after the slightly damp seat conversation. And I understand that. So, yeah, I think there are some seedy cars, but...
Well, there's the Cavalier CD. I think I saw one earlier on, but that's just the luxury model. That's a literally seedy car.
That is very seedy. Yeah, CD. I know what I was going to do.
What?
Hang on.
Get another question out of the Tombola.
Yeah, there's some more. There's some more in here.
We missed a trick here because it was billed on the thing as the Talbot Tombola.
Yeah.
And we should have branded it up.
Well, Adam from the organisers, he actually did order decals for it, but they just didn't turn up in time. Do you know what would have been? It would have been.
Mate, sorry, don't know when they're going to be back.
It would have been workers' strikes.
Yes,
wouldn't it?
We tried ringing the factory in Coventry, but we got no reply.
Yeah,
they claimed it had been knocked down or something.
Oh, that's actually.
Oh no, we can't do that.
We've just answered that.
We've answered that question inadvertently. It was a question about. I'm not even going to say their name. I feel like if we say it 3 times, they'll appear and start singing.
There you go.
Oh, am I? All right.
Can't read.
I can't read that first bit because there's kids here. Will you get around to Will you ever get around to making those pies? No, probably not. It's sort of outside of our skill set.
Yeah, no, I'm not very good.
Mind
at
you,
cooking.
so is doing a podcast, and here we are.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. The ties, yes, we keep talking about doing the ties.
We will do ties, at some point.
But
absolutely.
the bar now, I feel like we have to live up to the Mark 1 Freelander blouse. Because we could do one with like the Eagle Quest on it.
Don't say that, because that's been on my sketchbook for a long time now. I've got the scenery and everything that all planned out in my head.
Well, no, you sent me that 1970s Holden advert with the incredibly airbrushed car.
Yes.
That looked like a movie poster.
Yes. And
Johnny went, we should just do this with the Eagle.
It's totally what's going to happen.
But then we need to find an airbrush artist.
Yeah.
I just realised airbrush artist now sounds like I'm back to my dog.
It does sound like a minor insult.
We haven't talked about, well, in fact, because it only happened yesterday, I finally saw our Saab. For people who listen to the show, we've been given a Saab 9.5 Estate. It's a 2.3 Vector.
Yeah.
And I saw it for the first time in real life yesterday. It's really nice.
It is nice.
And my first emotion was, wow, this is really nice. My second emotion was guilt, because the lovely chap who gave it to us, he's given us a really nice car.
Yeah.
And I feel like
It's
we
wonderful.
don't deserve it.
No, we don't deserve it. Although
we
it
could,
does say something on the dash when you first started up. Is it service now?
It says time for service.
Oh, that's what it is. It
Hey
does.
guys,
Yeah.
it's service time.
You say it in a jolly Scandinavian way, and it's not a problem.
Yeah.
But if it was a British car, it'd be, yeah. You're knackered, mate. It's going to
Broken.
cost you.
I'm
Time
gonna
for
break
service,
soon.
please.
Time for service.
Hey, guys.
Who likes service? Yay! Put your hands up if you're right. Time for a service. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It has a jolliness about it there. But
And then we almost drove it into a clay pigeon chute, and the check engine light came on.
yes, it did. I forgot about that bit. Yeah, that did.
But that's
take
okay. I
that.
think the check engine light only came on because time for service.
Yes, I think so.
Hey guys, let's all take our clothes off and go for a service.
No.
Sorry.
That's a different country. That's different. Yeah. So when we, for people that aren't here for the purpose of listeners, not viewers, the Eagle Quest is to our stage right, stage left, if you're viewing the stage.
right.
A couple of nights ago, decided to change the brakes on her because they're not great.
Yes.
And so I was doing I was actually doing a bit of mechanical work with an adult helper, and didn't drink any wine. Did it completely wineless. So wineless mechanicking, not as much fun. I now know. It's just not quite as entertaining.
But far fewer things get cross-threaded. So, swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. But I now know that the main issue is a ball joint, a bush. So I've ordered some wishbones for it.
A George.
Yeah, it definitely
In
needs.
Cockney rhyming
Yeah, it definitely needs.
that I've just made up.
It definitely needs those. But other than that, she's still trucking just fine.
I noticed you referring to the Eagle as a she.
Oh damn! I'm become one of them.
Yeah, but it's interesting that car because you don't say that.
The Sheagle. The Sheagle Quest. Yeah. Do you know, whenever I drive it, because of you see the actual chrome eagle on the bonnet, which I still don't understand why they didn't cover up the sort of the hole where the Vauxhall badge was. They've made no effort there. I need to have words with them about
trouble.
that. Unless it was added aftermarket, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't, as in post coach builder. But whenever I'm driving it and I see the eagle,
See the eagle.
see the eagle,
Look
hear,
at the eagle.
hear the eagle, channel the eagle, be the eagle. I tend to drive it a little bit faster, but I am always listening to Christopher Cross Sailing in my head, and those two things, driving fast and listening to that song, they're not really relevant.
No.
Unfortunately.
It's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to mention them again, but it's like you asked me if I've ever gone running to Childhood's End by Marillion. And I was like, no. I don't know what style of run would be possible. Like slow motion is the only way of running.
Well, I'm only going to run for wheel trims now. It's my only incentive to go out running.
I was going to ask you about this. It sounds like this was a fertile stretch of road for wheel trims. Is it very potholy?
No, not especially, no. But there is a pothole-laden lane near me, which I have seen lots of, but it's also one that floods a lot. So you see a fair amount of under trays. And soon the season of under tray removal will be upon us, I think. Hydraulic under tray removal.
Can you lobby local authorities to change the name of roads?
I'd love to do
Because
that.
under tray lane sounds quite, sort of sounds quite bucolic in a way.
There's some seedy lane names in Britain.
There?
Yeah, there's a lot of...
Shadow Lane. Is it named after the car?
Shadow Lane sounds like a lovely singer.
Yes, it does. She just died, didn't she, today or yesterday? Cleo Lane.
Did she?
Yeah,
Yeah, she was a dude. Not an actual man.
Careful.
She was cool. Nice lady.
So, because wheel trim's coming off.
Yeah.
Last week, I was driving somewhere near me. I saw a car with a puncture. Round the corner, there was a van had got a puncture, and immediately after it, there was an Audi also got a puncture.
Oh, children have been throwing glass.
Well, that's it. I immediately panicked and went, I'm on Puncture Street.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a puncture.
Yeah.
Somebody's had like a cartoon character's had a comedy accident with some thumbtacks.
Yeah.
And all these people have got punctures. But it's like, I don't want a puncture because there's a car with no spare as well.
I sent a text message yesterday to Non-Stop Talking John on that side of things.
Yes.
It's not relevant to taxing the tyre. And I was a bit, again, every time I contact him, which is not that often these days, I'm just deeply, deeply worried that
Why are you making T-shirts with the things I say on them?
Well, of course, he doesn't say it on a text. It's only verbal, but he'll say it. But yeah, I was worried that he was going to be cross with me, and I had a couple of questions to ask for him. But he has invited me over. He's invited me over to see his new workshop.
Oh.
And I think I might do it.
On that side of town?
Yeah, well, it is on a completely different side of town. But I might take the Eagle. I'm thinking of taking the Eagle. Because it does...
Oh, no, wait, take the Saab, because you could have a look at that central locking problem.
Actually, that's a very good point. Yeah, he will be able to diagnose
the Saab isn't capable of that, to say, time for central locking to be checked by a man with a catchphrase. But the central locking has it sets the alarm off sometimes.
Yeah, you have to lock it. Let me get this right. You have to lock it on the key fob, but you have to unlock it with the key in the hole. And if you don't do it that way round, it will just go mental with the alarm. So I've had to tread very carefully with that.
Time for alarm. Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't want that to happen.
I have to give a shout out because Non-Stop Talking John is in your phone as Non-Stop Talking John. And we've mentioned this on the podcast before about people you have in your phone and their name is not their real name. It is somehow related to something they do and perhaps do for you.
Yeah.
And I have to give a shout out to the chap who's just changed the cam belt on my Honda Beat, but who is in my phone as Gearbox Tony, because I was told that was his name by our mate Darren.
Oh, yeah, Gearbox
Tony.
Yeah.
And so I was having a read. Gearbox Tony, top man, did the cam belt, thermostat, and
hang on, why did he do the cam belt if his name's Gearbox Tony? We've got
it turns out
people.
He can do cam belt. Gearbox Tony does cam belts. It's very confusing.
Cam belt, Gearbox Tony.
But that's the thing. And I was having a lovely chat with Gearbox Tony, which in my head, while we were having the conversation, I then christened Chat GPT because I'm chatting with Gearbox Tony. But he did a bang-up job on the very fiddly engine bay of that. And then while he was at it, he noticed one of the hood studs had snapped off, which the previous owner did while he was replacing the roof. And he just went, well, that won't do. And he mended it for me for nout. So he's also hood stud Tony.
We love these people.
I just realised,
hood stud Tony.
I think we need more Tonys. And if you need something doing, you need a Tony to do it.
Are there any Tonys here today? Anyone who's called Tony?
No, because they're all busy doing stuff.
There's actually no Tonys here.
No, they're all busy helping people, doing good works, being Tonys. Britain is built on the work of Tonys.
The backbone of Britain.
Exactly.
It's not the transit. No. Sorry, the transit. In fact, I should hold it up, the official sign. 3, 2, 1. The enthusiasm never ceases to impress.
I say this every time because it slightly weirds me out how we're able to do this, and it gives me a sense of what it would be like to be the leader of a cult.
Yeah.
Just go, right, say transit. Now go and kill that guy over there.
But imagine being involved in a cult run by a bloke wearing a fake Land Rover blouse. I mean, that would be sad, wouldn't it? Really tragic.
I like to imagine that one of Britain's many solid, dependable Tonys would just put a stop to it all just by going, no. Come and help me drain the sump on this Austin Ambassador instead of going out on a murderous spree because that Wazak told you to. Kind of law and order that a Tony would bring.
Yeah, I agree. So thanks, Gearbox Tony.
Gearbox Tony. Bless him.
Sweet guy.
Top man. No, really
sweet
top
man. So,
do you
want me to delve into the top?
It's my turn. I'm going to go over because I want to use it.
I think there's one left or two left in there. And obviously later on today at this event, we're going to be doing the wheel trim of misfortune, hence the wheel trim.
This is the same question. You put it back in.
I did. I'm not sure I remember doing that.
Hang on. Unless someone put it in
there
twice.
Might be. I think there is one in there.
There is.
And I'll just check.
It's a long one.
Well, we've got...
Okay, this is promising because it's from Martin McNeil. He says, not a question, but a dad hack.
Oh.
My father, a mechanic, once drove 300 miles after a full day of spannering on rally cars in Cork with no alternator. He repeatedly hot swapped the battery from my 309 to his 405.
Oh, and then 309 then charged that battery?
Yeah, my car charging the battery for a period. As he got dark, he drove behind me.
On the side lights only?
On side lights only, telling me to keep the pace up. I was 18 at the time.
I've done that. It's really sketchy and horrible.
Only ever heard the word hot swap in the context of batteries being with like electric cars. You know, it's supposed to be the next frontier of how to reduce charging anxiety. But hot swapping a starter battery, that's quite punchy.
You've reminded me, this is fairly boring, but there's one over there, like a 90s Volvo, the 850 era.
Yeah.
They had, and I don't know if any other cars ever did this, so I'm guessing Volvo invented it, of a battery clamp system which doesn't involve any tools. And it's a plastic like peg on a rail. Someone will know what I'm talking about. And it's really easy to just sort of fold over and lift. And it allows you to get the battery in and out without having to worry about bringing anything to the party. And I still to this day don't know why they, like all other manufacturers, don't do it. And why Volvo don't still do it, because it was genius. It's weird, isn't it, when you look at some retro cars and they had certain features that were so useful and well designed, and then they abandoned it and went for something cack. Why didn't they just go back and go, we did it really well like 30 years ago. Why are we muddling along now with something rubbish?
Vauxhall Vectra.
I saw one this morning, S-Reg.
Really?
Yeah.
No offence to whoever's bought the Vectra, but not famously a brilliant car. Just sort of...
Incredibly rare now, but definitely not many people care.
Look at this sky. Leaden, grey, drizzly. That's a Vectra sky. You could use that in future. Just go, what's the weather going to be like tomorrow?
Sky.
I think it's going to be a bit Vectra out and probably just get the cinema. But
Vectra Sky sounds like someone from Mortal Kombat to me.
Or she acted in a lot of those sort of 90s kind of movies like Heathers or something like that. Vectra Sky. She briefly dated Christian Slater. Where was I?
You were looking at the sky talking about
Sorry,
Vectras.
got distracted by the sky. Vectra came with a little thing clipped to the inside of the fuel filler flap. There was a tool for taking off your valve caps so you didn't get your fingers mucky.
That's cool.
Really good idea. Simple, effective, because, you know, we've all been there and you suddenly go, oh
brake
no,
dusty hand.
I'm on my way to meet Princess Anne and I've got a mucky forefinger and thumb.
I've actually got a brake dust on my trousers right there. I'm pointing to it, because I did exactly what you just said yesterday, but I wasn't in a Vectra, so I didn't have a special tool.
Well, there you go. And I don't think Vauxhall still does that to my knowledge, because I presume an accountant or somebody went, well, hang on, those cost us 5p a piece.
Yeah.
And we're making 500,000 of those a year.
Yeah.
So that's actually some money.
Yeah.
Delete it.
Yeah. Get rid.
They can just take some wet wipes. And so they don't have it anymore. And it's a really nice idea. Same, I think Skoda still do the thing where they have an ice scraper, don't they? There's a built-in ice scraper. It's thoughtful.
It's very
nice.
thoughtful.
It's like the Volvo battery clamp.
And the bottle opener in the divider between the two coffee cup holder things.
Oh, yeah.
That's really nice.
Although I never got that, because what they were basically saying is...
Drink beer in a lay-by.
Have a beer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
But I suppose, because it's a bit Euro-spec, isn't it? You'd still have a lovely Orangina or something with a...
Can you buy Orangina in the UK in the sort of like banjo-shaped glass bottle? It's fantastic. So. It was so Euro, that was.
They would spoil it, because nothing says going on holiday to France like a bottle of Orangina. It tastes nicer.
Well, what about food at roadside services that doesn't cost 18 quid and isn't soggy?
And unexpectedly, you find the motorway service area has a Michelin star.
Yeah. Be brilliant.
I was listening to Gordon Ramsay on a podcast the other day. In fact, you might have recommended it to me. I can't remember. He was on I can't remember what podcast. He came across very well. Sweet guy.
Got his cars are not unexceptional enough. He needs to really
towards
sort himself out.
Shiny
on that front.
trinkets. There's no way that he would go bloody hell as a Toyota Tercel. I simply must buy it with my food fortune.
That's what he needs to do, I think.
But he was talking about, because his restaurant in London has 3 Michelin stars. It's an incredible achievement. And I was driving along listening to this, and I was suddenly like, if you went on Dragon's Den as Bibendum...
Oh, hell. We've lost some paper. I'm really sorry.
But if you went Dragon's Den and you went, hi, I'm Bibendum, I would like £50,000 for 1% of my business, which is reviewing restaurants and making tyres.
Yeah.
Deborah Meaden would go, That sounds too diffuse. I'm out.
Yeah. Also, you're very creepy looking. Go
Yes.
away. Get back in the lift and go downstairs and speak to Evan Davis.
And then he trips on the way out and just rolls out
Yeah.
of the den.
And you're smiling constantly, but you do look like a low-level like horror film person.
But I still, it doesn't. I mean, I know there's a reason, which I looked this up because it was so puzzling. When I got home, I looked this up because it seemed odd to me that they'd go, well, the tyre business is going well. Restaurant reviews, yeah, we should do that. It was actually because the Michelin Guide started as a guide
with
to
road maps.
Road maps, yeah. But if you look at it in the cold light of day, you just go, these two things aren't compatible. Also, the Michelin reviews are done anonymously. Now, I think Gordon Ramsay and others like him are going to notice when Bibendum comes into the restaurant.
Oh, like
He's a big lad for a start.
Secret shopper.
But it makes sense why he's such a big lad is because he has to eat a lot of very rich food. Hello, I'm a completely anonymous customer. I'd like one of everything, please.
No, I'd like 7 of everything, please. Oh, and by the way, if the portions are small, you're going to get marked down.
Yeah.
So I want
By who? No one.
Yeah.
Are you from Michelin? No.
No. Yeah. I'm just very white and ribbed. That's
Because
all.
we've already got a Michelin star, and I'm noticing you're on the poster.
Yeah.
No, that's my brother.
I can't believe Pirelli haven't just looked at Bibendum and gone, right, we're Italian, we're known for style.
Yeah.
Let's do something here that kids can relate to and doesn't look creepy.
Like
Come
a
on.
very elegantly dressed man who's incredibly slender.
Yeah.
Like that guy who's the head of Lamborghini. What's his name? Stefan Winkelmann.
Oh, yes. But him on a jet ski,
He's
topless.
he's like a really well-dressed pencil.
Yeah.
He's got to be, what, 60?
Probably.
And he's looking so well on it. And he always wears beautiful suits.
Yeah.
That's
So he should be riding a jet ski with a suit on,
yeah.
but it's got no water on it at all. So it's either Teflon coated or he's just so good there's not even one splash on him.
And his hair is thick and immaculate.
It never moves, even on a jet ski at VMAX.
And Italian Bibendum from Pirelli.
It's
Bibendum.
falling down a flight of stairs, but still smiling, always smiling. And someone is hammering his hands with a hammer, and he's still smiling.
He hasn't even noticed.
No.
Someone stuck a carving knife into his hand, and except no, he'd start deflating them, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
But no, I think Italian Bibendum, who's very slim, made of tyres still, but very slim.
Yeah.
Goes into a restaurant to review it, and they'll go, right, would you like one of anything? And he'll go, no, just a coffee. So you get a Pirelli star on how good your espresso is.
Yep.
And any food, I'm not interested. I don't care.
And a cigarette-shaped Biscoff.
Yes.
Biscuit.
Oh, maybe that's it. You get a Pirelli star if your coffee is good and they let you smoke. And stay for like 5 hours while you have a really busy conversation.
Well, but they don't earn any money off you.
Not a cent.
You're that guy that goes into the pub and orders one pint of ale and can nurse it for 3.5 hours.
There was a period when I decided that working at home a lot, I should get out and go to a local cafe. But there's that guilt of staying for 2 hours and having one coffee. So I started having 3 coffees and a piece of cake. And I realised that I was jittery and fat and had to stop doing that.
Well, and every bit of work that you did was just horribly useless when you came home.
I'm a real sucker for red velvet cake, and they did an amazing red velvet cake in this cafe I used to go to. But red velvet cake is basically, you might as well just spoon goose fat into your face.
I've actually got some in the back of the Eagle Quest.
I've had 3 big coffees. The amount I'm moving, I should be losing weight. But the red velvet was so potent that, in fact, I was becoming sluggish, like we were last night after that ill-advised curry.
Incredibly sluggish post-curry. I think we need to wind this up a little bit.
We do need to wind this up.
And I want to say, first of all, thank you to everybody that's here and listening and watching. Thank you. And thanks to the Festival of the Unexceptional for hosting us. I think it's missing something, this festival, Rich. I think it's missing stationary engines. Because if you think about them, they're quite unexceptional. You can just stare at them, they're putting away, and no one's entirely sure what they're there for or why we're staring at them. So can we just say that if we're ever invited back, 2026 should be the year of a small selection of useless engines that we're running all day. Can we do that, please? I've got one to bring. I've got some goose fat in the back of that car, like I said.
By a maxi driving.
I saw a Maxi that came in earlier, same colour as my dad's old one, and it was driven by probably an 18-year-old, and I properly had a malfunction. Like, what's a young guy doing driving an old Maxi? And I think that's what's amazing about this festival. I love those juxtapositions. It's marvellous.
There's a Vauxhall VX220 just driven in. I'm going to say that's not unexceptional.
And a 406 coupe. I
mean, that's...
Off of Pininfarina's is.
Yeah.
That's actually a really handsome car. We always say this, but it is.
All right, anyway, we better wind this up before, I don't know, a princess drives in and I'm completely distracted again. Anyway, before we go...
I thought you meant an actual princess.
Princess
Anne. Like a royal woman.
Yeah, Princess Anne. I mean, I don't know what car she'd be driving. I'm not even sure she can drive. But
Skoda Octavia.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard she had a Hyundai Elantra for a while.
Yeah, massively into those. Big on the equestrian scene. Hyundai Elantras. Yeah.
So I'm going to cheat because I forgot to memorise these. I've got 3 things to tell you before we go. The first one is that Jonny is engaged in a bizarre project to visit music venues around the world and try and tell if early Marillion played there, only using his nose, under the working title, Does Something Smell Fishy in Here?
These just go from
worse.
terrible to appalling.
The second thing I want to say is a massive thank you to the people from Festival of Unexceptional and Haggerty for having us here again, and a huge thank you to all of you for very patiently standing around or sitting here in these deck chairs and listening to, frankly, abject drivel for an hour or so.
Well, a guy wearing a blouse with some faux Land Rovers on it, and a guy wearing a terrible tracksuit top because he's just generally a bit cold. So thank you.
Oh, look, there's a RAV4 with a dog in it. Yay! Hello.
That's actually quite cool.
That is quite cool.
Yeah.
The third thing I was going to tell you is we're all used to the sort of this kind of big genitals waggling exercise in creating the biggest, tallest buildings in the world. You know, it's been Dubai and Kuala Lumpur and all sorts. For many years, though, the tallest building in the world was, in fact, here in Lincolnshire.
Really?
Lincoln Cathedral.
Oh, cathedral.
The central spire on Lincoln Cathedral was reputedly the tallest thing in the world for, I've written this down, 238 years, from about 1311 until 1549, 11 minutes to 4. It was reputedly 160 metres tall, although some people dispute this because A, they didn't use metres in those days, and B, who was measuring it? Also, it's only retrospectively you can go, well, it was the tallest building in the world, because at the time they didn't know, because they didn't even know what else was out there. But yeah, tallest building supposedly in the world for over 200 years, and then one day it blew down.
Did it?
Yeah, and that was it. But yeah, Lincolnshire was once the Dubai of the East Midlands.
Well, you can think about that as you want. I was going to say something else then. I've just totally forgotten what it was. Oh well. Well, look, we're live from Grimsthorpe Castle, and I just want to say thank you. And I need to go and look at that. Is it a Horizon? Talbot Horizon?
Well, we could do like that band. Bring me the horizon.
Bring me the Talbot. Yeah.
Tap it your way over here, and we'll have a look at it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, that's enough from us. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening at home. We'll do this all again soon. Until then, goodbye.
Thanks, please. Bye.
So you've enjoyed this podcast, but you've had a thought. Is there a way here today that you could show support? Well, you could join our Patreon, what wonders that it brings. Early shows and extra notes on that side of things. You could buy our merchandise, we've mugs and hats but still no ties. One day we will make those pies, but in the meantime, guys, hey guys, like and subscribe, and maybe leave a nice review. Like and subscribe, we know you know just what to do. Like and subscribe, we don't want to take the piss. Like and subscribe, but we were told to ask for this. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.